What would it feel like to finally get back to the work you love, the deep client conversations, the strategic vision, the legacy building? On this episode of Disruption Blueprint, I'm sitting down with Tish Berbaum, managing partner and founder of Blue Sand Wealth, whose journey as an independent advisor is a powerful example of what happens when you remove the noise and embrace a platform built for growth. We talk about the unlock that happens when you intentionally build your practice, the emotional intelligence behind truly great advising, and how RFG's platform model has empowered Tish to focus on what matters most, serving her clients and growing her firm. If you've ever felt like your day is getting hijacked by compliance, paperwork, or endless vendor meetings, this conversation is a roadmap back to your purpose.
Welcome to Disruption Blueprint with Shannon Spotswood from RFG Advisory. In this podcast, we help advisors grow their net worth, build their businesses, and maximize their independence. We've built an award-winning platform with innovative technology, comprehensive service, and a team of individuals who are experts in their field to serve advisors. Join us for this journey where we explore everything that has to do with running an independent advisor practice as we bring together successful advisors, industry experts, and innovative minds who are on the bleeding edge to challenge the status quo, foster new ideas, and create a path for advisors to unleash their growth potential. Now, on to the show.
Welcome to another episode of Disruption Blueprint. I am so fired up to be joined here in Birmingham with none other than my good friend Tish Berbaum. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Shannon, for having me here.
What a way to kick off 2026. I love that you made the journey from Laguna Beach, California to our podcast studio.
I love it. This is a great treat to be here with all the amazing team you guys have here. So thank you.
Absolutely. I've been really looking forward to this conversation. You have an incredible builder story to share. And what I love about this, and as I was imagining this episode, I was flashing forward to this time next year when we're talking about the wins that you put on the board. You're in truly a transformational year of growth. And I think it's so helpful for advisors to have that first person testimony of wanting to dream a big dream, wanting to build something that has your unique thumbprint. And oftentimes I feel like these episodes are only recorded once you're like in the victory lap stage.
Yeah.
Advisors aren't willing to be open and vulnerable about the building stage. And so I'm excited that we're this will be the first of many, but I want to just bring the audience in. You left about a year and a half ago, a very big firm and a huge book in one of the most competitive markets in the country, Southern California, to take this leap of faith into independence.
Yeah.
Why?
At the end of the day, I had a vision and I saw that there was things that weren't being able to be taken care of for my clients. And I didn't have a voice. I thought I had a voice, but I didn't have a voice. I got stuck doing the things that were day-to-day, compliance, marketing, all that ended up bogging me down to just really doing the things that I absolutely loved. And I thought, I have to fight for me, my vision, my goals, and I have to fight for my clients' vision and their goals.
How scary was that moment when you realized you had to take the leap?
Oh, man. So I knew I needed to take the leap over a year before I left. And I think people know you have it. It's the gut feeling in your tummy. It's like the butterflies and you know that it's going to happen. But it takes you a few minutes just to come to grips with it and get over the fears of what that truly looks like and the risks that you're taking on.
Did you do any work in terms of, I always joke that Excel is my safe space. How did you work through like the financial risk that you were taking with your husband?
Yeah, I think that I ran the numbers over and over and over again. You guys would probably laugh how many times that I actually also asked. And that's really what kept me up at night. But at the end of the day, it was so much better than I can even imagine. The hardest part was just taking that first step.
Right. If I've said this once, I've said it a million times. I love the quote, everything you want in life is on the other side of fear.
Yeah.
And it is, to me, it's almost like the foundational quote for advisors who are in a captive model, who are bumping up against all of the frustrations and headaches and limitations and artificial constraints on their business, because truly the client relationship and trust is your superpower. That is the value embedded in your business. It is not RFG's value. It is not any other firm's value. It is the advisor's value. Yeah. But owning that and trusting that and being willing to put it to the test is hard. Yeah. It is really hard. So transitions, speaking of hard, transitions are hard. Yeah. Our slogan, I probably shouldn't share this, but I am. Our slogan is embrace the suck. Like, I'm never going to sugarcoat. As you know, I'm never going to sugarcoat a transition. It's a lot of moving pieces. It's a new, unfamiliar environment. And it is done in your most vulnerable and emotionally charged state. So it's not like you're coming into something really hard and you're like, I've been training for this marathon and I had the perfect night's sleep in my new shoes and I've like hydrated to perfection. Like I'm ready to PR. It's just not that. It's like Navy SEAL training, right? It is like the hardest of circumstances all coming together. So when you joined RFG and you got beyond the transition, when was the moment that you realized you could finally breathe again and start working on your business instead of in your business?
So I think there was 2 moments. The first moment was immediately when I made the decision that I was leaving where I was and I said yes to moving to RFG. There was a moment that I felt like, this is amazing because now I can start to delegate all of the things that were weighing on me with my time, like technology and compliance and creating portfolios. So I knew immediately that I was leaning into the right place and the right team. Now, until I actually felt amazing, I would say probably like 4 months in.
Yeah.
Because no matter where you go, even if you're moving to a different firm, a different location, the transition sucks. Right?
Yeah.
It's hard. Paperwork, there's time. You're working throughout. The hardest part is knowing, are they going to follow me? Or am I going to make it? Am I going to be okay?
Yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, trust your gut. And know that you are making the right decision for you and your clients, and the right people will find you. Mm-hmm. And you have to just be intentional with what that looks like. So the answer is, I was getting referrals and new clients coming in, and I hadn't even wasn't even a month in, and people were just so excited for me, and the momentum was building. I mean, it was amazing. So I would say the first quarter, once I had all of the red tape done and paperwork signed and documents done and learned the new
system and ecosystem.
Yeah.
One of the things that has been really fun to watch from my seat is the evolution of your mindset and the rewiring. Like you had to go through that process of letting go.
Yeah.
In particular around investment management. You were acting, as you said, in your old firm as the PM.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're stepping into this model where you wanted to leverage our OCIO services and the capabilities of the team. Yeah. But that was really hard. It took you a hot minute.
It took me longer.
What did you do to gain the confidence that you felt like, all right, I'm still close enough to the portfolio to be able to talk about it with my clients, to think about it and position it with new prospects. Yeah. What did you have to go through as part of that journey?
Wow, that was really hard. That was like an emotional thing because I didn't want to be considered of like an advisor that just outsourced everything. And And in my mind, I painted a picture to clients that what we do is all in-house. Well, it's still all in-house. And the thing is that's beautiful is I just have an incredible team behind me now. I still make the calls of what that looks like, and we're building out those portfolios. But now I am leveraging an incredible portfolio that we get to put together with incredible options that the end of the day, we're still able to create custom portfolios for clients to really meet those needs. But we have a team that is amazing. And I'm okay stepping back, being able to really get there. And I have to say is I did have a couple like accounts that I kept just to see how I did. And then once that our new portfolios started kicking my old portfolio's bum, I was like, okay, so they're less expensive and they're doing better. Okay, fine. Let's make this happen.
Did you have any clients that resisted?
Yeah, I did.
How did you overcome that?
Yeah, so really good point. So I have had a great experience with clients of having loyalty. I've had clients for years and years and years. I typically don't ever lose a client. But what I realized is over the last, I would say, year and a half, I have lost 2 clients. One because they're in the industry. And then the other one is because it wasn't a match. And I think it's just specifically for that. What I have become really clear on is what is the model for the firm and being really intentional. So when you have those clients that you know that it's an outlier to what you do on a day-to-day and they're trying to do their own thing and you're constantly jumping through hoops, they're just not a right fit. So what I realized is getting really intentional with those people, and then those people love you and they refer more clients because they understand what the value you're bringing and they're seeing the fruit from what they're doing. But if you're constantly reacting out of fear and jumping through hoops, it really wasn't a fit for me either.
Right. Isn't that amazing how that is such a freeing moment when you realize like, oh my gosh, I'm expending all of this energy and I'm never going to right this ship?
Well, can I say one more thing?
Yeah. Yes.
I had to let this one client go, and I had never let a client go before. And it was the most freeing thing because it was a very large client. And I was like, well, this is going to affect my bottom line. And what is that going to look like? By the end of the month, it was, I'm going to use the nothing burger.
Right.
Because I had already brought in more assets that you didn't even know it was a blip.
Right. Right.
And then I got more time back in my day to do the right things for all my other clients because they were that person was sucking all the time from the clients that really I should be spending more time with. So it was actually a gift.
So you, from the minute I met you, have had a very clear eye and a goal to build a 10x enterprise. We're so beyond like build a book with you, like build a 10x enterprise, really anchored around high touch relationships, long-term impact. You've done a lot of work over the course of the last 12 months in refining your value proposition and defining your niche. Walk us through that. Like, walk us through what it means to build a 10x enterprise. Why do you want to do it?
Yeah.
And then I want to explore the 2 niches where you're really focused.
Yeah. So I feel like in our industry, there's a lot of disruption that's happening. And there's a lot of advisors that are going to be transitioning over time, retiring, and our industry is changing. And I wanted to be able to have a platform that as people want to retire, they can go somewhere that has systems in place that's consistent. Then if someone's at, let's say, a bank and they just don't feel like they're being challenged anymore, they have a place that they can join. And it's a great process that they have that they can just get plugged in and they're taken care of. That was the ultimate goal. I found a need that I didn't have. And I created that because I wanted that. I wanted to be able to find a place that people can feel like it's home. They have a voice. They're seen. As a founder, I want to be a voice for the firm, but also I want to empower all the advisors to feel like they have a voice and they're important in their lane, their niche, and they feel like they have a place.
So to do that, you're walking the walk. You yourself have had to niche, which you were really resistant to do.
Yes.
So talk to us about firm level, blue sand, taking care of these, these larger business owner clients, like serving high net worth clients, deepening the impact, working with those families. But Tish, the advisor, has niched in to serving female executives. One, talk about your resistance to it, and two, why you think it's going to be a game changer now that you've leaned in.
I love that. Well, I had a really hard time in the beginning because I thought that I was going to be leaving people out. And the reality is that's not true at all. It couldn't be even more true. People need help, and people that I have been working with feel heard, they feel seen. And at the end of the day, executive women, we have different needs than other people out there. And the end of the day is I can share my story. And it's completely relatable because I am doing it as they're doing it, and we are walking together. So, for example, like we could do incredibly well on paper, but at the end of the day, like, does our personal balance sheet match the revenues that we're making? Those are the questions that I'm helping women go through and keeping more in-house and more of their net worth of what they're making and not feeling guilty about it.
Right. And I think that's such a key unlock in building a niche is like letting go of that guilt factor and just being willing to kind of own the space of, I've got an axe to grind here. I have a point of view that is, I have a relatable story. It tacks back to, I quote this all the time, but the McKinsey study that talked about, Accenture study that talked about what are the three things that clients are looking for in an advisor? Do you share my values? Do you get me? And do I want to spend time with you outside the office?
Yes.
And you're 100% right that female executives have very different needs. They have constraints on their time that look different. They have all of the complexity of managing an upward trajectory of a career. The sandwich generation, still the demands of husband and family and parents and aging and all the rest of it. So it's a really important area that I think as I've seen your business plan and the goals that you have for Blue Sands, like the 10X is real.
I'm excited. I can't wait.
We were talking earlier about if your dreams don't scare you and your goals don't scare you, then you're not on the right path.
I'm there. I'm definitely there. Although, if I can share, when I first started, I didn't know if a single person would become a client going forward. You just don't know. You don't know that when you're making the leap. And from going from running all the numbers, stressing out, figuring out what does that look like, and then growing your business, hitting your 5-year numbers of what your projections were, doubling all of that, and then expanding. I mean, it's pretty amazing. I kind of was pinching myself thinking, this really happened. And I am helping amazing people, and they're so happy with what we're doing. They're referring their friends. So it just feels incredibly natural.
So early in your journey of building your firm, you've already made the move and capitalized on expanding your geographic footprint. So you're headquartered in Laguna Beach, one of the most beautiful places in the country. And so you've got a footprint already established in Southern California. You now have an office opened in Sun Valley, Idaho. Why were you willing to take that risk early on?
At the end of the day, I've always been the person, like you said, that I want to run with other people. I want more advisors on the team that are ready to take on that challenge. They found where they're at is limiting them, and they want to have a home that allows them to be their best self and to grow. And I wanted to be able to service more people in more places. And who doesn't want to go skiing in Sun Valley?
Right. It is truly like one of the greatest places. You're early in the relationship, but where has it been more challenging bringing in a new advisor to your firm than you expected?
Well, when you have your own niche and then they have their own niche, is being able to find where you guys have your strengths and being able to work together as a team. Because I'm always going to say you're as good as your weakest link. And I'm also going to say is you have to gel together and everyone has to feel like they have a home and a place. And so if we're all there and we complement each other along the way, we do a better job for our clients. And really, that's at the end of the day, we help each other. We're helping our clients. We're all winning.
Right. Well, and I love, one of the important value propositions of RFG and building a platform supporting independent advisors is this model exactly, where you plant a flag, you're building in Blue Sands this beautiful brand alongside like very thoughtful workflows, client experiences. What is that overall client journey looking like? How do you serve multi-generational families? Like sweating through all the details of what that experience of being a Blue Sands client looks like. And that's hard work. And then having the platform for another advisor to plug into that, to experience the unlock of independence, to have that shared growth goal and collaboration, but still be building enterprise value inside enterprise value.
Yeah. I love it. And on that same point is I get to do what I do best. And I think that's the one thing that advisors don't know is, do I really want to be doing compliance? No. That scares me. Honestly, I want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing, but I don't have time to do that full time.
Right.
And do I want to be doing all the other things that you guys are able to help us do?
Right.
We get to leverage, that is the key word, RFG, to allow us to do what we do best. And at the end of the day, I think that there's flexibility, there's freedom, there's growth, there's vision that we get to enjoy. And that is the fun part. Now, you guys, I'm so sorry to say, but like you guys have taken on all the stuff that I don't love.
Right.
And a lot of other advisors don't love. And we still get to be business owners and grow. It's an amazing partnership.
All right. So I'm just curious to hear your perspective on what do you think is going to change in terms of what the client is looking for from their advisor over the course of the next 2 to 3 years?
So there's the advisor that just does investments. All they do is the portfolio. I don't think that's enough. And I really think that there's so much noise. There's so much information. They need the advisor to sift out all that noise and say, how does that affect me? Because that's all that matters. What matters is how it's going to affect them and their end goal. So you keep it intentional. If you create a plan and you execute with that plan and you look at everything as a big picture, how are you transitioning your business? How are you passing on your legacy? What does that look like? How are you having fun with that? I can go skiing with my clients. We go for walks. We go wine tasting. We do all the fun things. It's a partner and a fun journey as advisor client. I think that's what people are looking for, that human person, because we can all chat GPT information, but does that mean that that's the right thing for them? So we're not just a financial advisor to just pick the portfolios. We are more involved than that.
I mean, amen, sister. We are in a bull market for advice. Demand for financial advice is increasing by 30% over the next 10 years. The number of advisors decreasing by 0.2%. But the data is very clear on this. Clients are looking for something different from their advisor. They want that immersive experience. They want to feel, you've used the word seen and heard. They want to feel that very intentionally. They want you to be the quarterback of estate planning, tax planning, all of their financial planning, as well as really, we've talked a lot in other segments. We were talking about this on Town Hall a couple months ago, where this idea of what are you retiring to and the encore chapter, like, don't just help me die rich, help me live richly, help me design my life to flex, whether it's in my career trajectory or my needs at home. And all of those things are the superpower of the advisor of the future.
Yes. I completely agree. And that's the core of what we do. And that is part of the journey. We meet them where they're at, and then we help them build something that's intentional for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, as we wrap up, I have to say you have one of the most beautiful brands.
I love it.
Your logo is incredible. Your branding is incredible. You put so much heart and soul into it. Just a little walk down memory lane. What did it feel like when you first saw that brand logo reveal that reflected the water and the light and the hope and the promise that you were looking to convey?
I just want to say, before you even say that, is I had a vision. I had a dream. And then once I said yes, you, RFG, helped me make that dream a reality. And that reality allowed me to really create a brand name that the ocean meant that it was blue skies. It was comfortable. It felt like at the end of the day, people had a place, that they have a destination. It was a future. Things could get a little stormy, like the markets, they ebb and flow. I felt like people can relate to that, but there was always a grounding place, and we were that grounding place. And everything had intention. So you're right. Blue Sands Wealth is something that it's really like near and dear to my heart, but hopefully the messaging and the intention is really people understand the big picture behind it is we're there for them, and we want to walk through that journey with them.
Yeah. Well, Tish, love having you. Thank you so much for joining me. This has been an awesome conversation. And this time next year, we will be back here and we're going to, track the goals throughout the year. We've set really bold, ambitious plans. I can't wait. I can't wait for 1 year from now.
Well, thank you for having me.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you as well.
Thank you for listening to the Disruption Blueprint podcast. Click the follow button to be notified when new episodes become available. Visit our website at www.rfgadvisory.com or schedule a call on our advisor resources page. And don't forget to click the follow button to be notified when new episodes become available. Content here is for illustrative purposes and general information only. It is not legal, tax, or individualized financial advice, nor is it a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold any specific security or engage in any specific trading strategy. Information here may be provided in part by third-party sources. These sources are generally deemed to be reliable. However, neither our guest nor RFG Advisory guarantee the accuracy of third-party sources. The views expressed here are those of our guest. They do not necessarily represent those of RFG Advisory, its employees, or its clients. This commentary should not be regarded as a description of advisory services provided by RFG Advisory or performance returns of any client. The views reflected in the commentary are subject to change at any time without notice. Securities offered by registered representatives of Private Client Services, member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered by investment advisory representatives of RFG Advisory, a registered investment advisor. Private Client Services and RFG Advisory are unaffiliated entities. Advisory services are only offered to clients or prospective clients where RFG Advisory and its representatives are properly licensed or exempt from licensure. No advisory services may be rendered by RFG Advisory unless a client agreement is in place. RFG Advisory is an SEC-registered investment advisor. SEC registration does not constitute an endorsement of RFG by the Commission, nor does it indicate that RFG or any associated investment advisory representative has attained a particular level of skill or ability.